Zekin is more than ready to return fire. Zekin giving us our second ace coming through strong.
Angelo Mori quiere el primer ace de la VCT Americas.
Van a ser 5 bajas en la pistol.
KRU's out in between maps and a fantastic first map as well. The KRU starts off this season with the power they usually end with. What's the X factor? Where is it coming from? And how are you starting so strong?
I think that the biggest difference for this year is the group that we built. I believe that we have a really experienced player, and also I think it's the focus of the team, because we built this team to win, to lift a trophy this year. So they are pretty on that mindset, so they are working pretty hard, most than any other year. And I feel that we are facing more prepared each match, so it's easy to perform in that way.
Eyes on the prize. The team's looking great. Best of luck in the next map.
Welcome back, everyone. Man, he looked smug in that interview. And he deserves to. He deserves to look that way as well. Let's break it down. How did KRU get it done? It started off with a back and forth here, but then second half, KRU started to run away with it.
Yeah, the first half looked like it was like Sentinel's day, right? They won the pistol. They won two thrifty style rounds.
Yeah, like what's up with that?
It's like, yeah, this is one of them actually right here. And it looked like, you know, the stars were aligning and there just wasn't going to be enough for KRU to win the map. And then they switched halves.
Yeah, the second half was a complete I mean, one round is all that Sentinels are able to get on the other side of things, even when they move over to the attacking side. And it was just so shocking because, again, like, Sentinels kept it competitive, winning these eco rounds, snowballing it to another one. But all things considered, I think that KRU looked a much stronger team with their approach in the second half.
Oh, when Mazzino is shooting like this, like prime Lev Mazzino performance, out of your breach in a breach Teo comp, oh man, this team is terrifying. Look at Shy, 7 deaths. He's 16 and 7.
I can't believe how good Kesnet is on that Yoru, given that this is the second time he's playing it. Like, I actually don't believe it.
I mean, the caster calling out, like, did he ult like 5 times in that game?
No,
like, it's crazy.
It's actually
ridiculous.
busted. This team looks so good right now. Who would have thought? I mean, the way Adverse was pivoting these hits, he was always finding the empty B site in the first half. I'm just blown away by how good KRU looks strategically right
I think the thing that amazes me the most about them is KRU have always been a team where, like, they've got the firepower, right? Yes. And they'd always get flamed during the regular season because, like, their execution fell apart, right? It'd be like, oh, it's like the Kesnet show, but, like, their util isn't quite there, their strats aren't there, but they're playing, like, new meta agents, coordinating utility beautifully, still maintaining the individual level of performance. Like, they're putting all the right pieces together.
Yeah, I mean, Wyatt said so as well, right at the end of the cast. They're the meat and potato team. They're keeping it very vanilla, but not anymore.
Vanilla, and they're looking
on the
so
meat and potatoes? No, they're keeping it vanilla. Vanilla and meat and potatoes is the same thing in this scenario. Don't worry about it. Don't worry your pretty little head about it. It's all good. It's all good. Who should be worried, of course, is Sentinels, because they have to bring this one back. So let's hear what Kaplan has to say ahead of map 2.
I'm here with Kaplan before map 2. Last week when we talked to Zelsis, he said KRU can come out and just farm teams sometimes. What do you do now? How do you reset and just get back into map 2?
Yeah, I mean, we lost for a few reasons, but we need to target the ones that are relevant to how we are right now in a match, relevant to the next couple maps. We definitely weren't proactive. We didn't play the game on our terms. We let them play the game, and we let it happen to us. So it's easier when we played really well one weekend ago. It's not that hard for the guys to remember. I think they can remember that. I think they can channel it here. Just more confidence. That's it. It's just more confidence.
All right, Kaplan, thanks for the insight. Best of luck in the game.
We let it happen to us. That's me at the end of every day. Yeah. It just kind of happened to me, and then I go to bed. But you got to brush it off, right, and come back strong. Now, however, they did lose their map pick. We're heading over to Icebox. Expectations, hopes,
I'm scared for them. I am scared for them.
You're very scared today.
They've got some good wins on Icebox in the past, but it's required heroics out of particularly like people like Zelsis and deep in series. Like, this has never been at the top of Sentinel's map pool.
And Icebox is Kesnet's map. Like, Kesnet on Icebox and Ascent. Like, we are entering a world with these two maps coming back into the pool where Kesnet will just fry. You have to find an answer to him, whether or not it's going to be on the classic Jet on this map, or maybe some Waylay stuff that might have been alluded to. Like, he's going to be coming out so good.
And for Sentinels to leave this in their pool right now, you have to know they have something up their sleeve, right? That is the one shining light here for Sentinels. Maybe they have a new look on Icebox, and they're not going to go into one of these old veg comps.
Well, we'll find out in just a little bit as we're heading into a quick break, and we're back to see if KRU can finish this out or if Sentinels keep themselves alive. After this.
First map, interesting one in this series. Sentinels end that first half, 6 rounds, looking pretty good, and then completely disappear. And frankly, for Sen City, that goes from bad to worse. The weather gets a little bit worse because we move on to an Icebox, a map that we haven't seen in quite some time here. One that, I think, as Sean points out, in our little interim, that wasn't exactly a stellar one in general for Sentinels, and one that we saw KRU on quite a look with Rainer or Jet looks respectively. So I'm curious to see what they're cooking up here. Do we go back to the same old look? Because Wyatt, Icebox is unchanged since leaving the pool previously.
It's the agent pool that has changed. We've seen teams try to experiment with some Tejo here and there on this map, so interested to see if a KRU team that, as we said, kind of just follow the trends and try to refine what the meta is, actually step outside of that narrative, try and reinvent themselves here. Or same for Sen, really. I mean, it's just a question of what these teams want. I don't know. We will have to see. But as far as Sen's quality on Icebox, I'm looking at Bang to be the star for this team here. He is one of the best players at playing around that B site. The way he controls main on this map is really some of the best play you will see from anyone in the world. And I'm wondering if he can kind of be the injection into this Sen team that can make them a better Icebox squad moving forward. But that being said, though, on map 1, Bang, he started off so hot. At one point, his
11-3
was 11-3, and then he ends 14 for 15.
Okay, here is our agent select heading into Icebox, and no huge changes here. Very much a classic comp, even featuring the Killjoy here, as Sentinels haven't really innovated too much on this look. Of course, John QT now, of course, in this role as the shader on the KO, so KO Sova, double initiator setup. I bet Mazzino's going to play Harbor. I've got a feeling. Yeah, here we go. Okay, similar look to what we saw from Leviathan on this map in the past, right? Double controller, Harbor Viper there for those walls. Killjoy here for Shy. What year is it?
I mean, yeah, this is a time machine matchup. We have stepped into the past with these two comps, but we don't really know what the current day holds on this map anyhow, so maybe these looks of the past will just maintain being the best way to play this map. We get to really see. But ultimately, the meta won't matter here. We're going back to the fundamentals. This is a scenario that all 10 players in the server will have been in just hundreds of times over, practicing against these comps.
Something that we saw a lot from KRU on this map, especially defensively, is they crossfire really, really well inside that A site. Something that even with the Rainer comp they'd like to do. They played Rainer for a while and wanted to embed her in the side and not worry too much about verticality and just have good crossfires. Let's see what Sentinels have for us on this attack side now. We're off to Icebox, folks. A glimpse of the past.
Trying to take some B main control. We're going to see that standard high tide thrown out by the Harbor that covers both those doorways. Oh my god. What is that? How does Zelsis go down on the cross? Brutal.
Some nasty work under tube there from Shy. Standard Viper wall set up, though. We'll get Sentinels essentially onto this B site. John with a spike in hand, but Mazzino playing pretty close here. Now looking to take a close fight, and those right clicks are good. Narrate has struggled over the course of this series thus far in KRU. Oh, they're doing what they do best. They love to sink their teeth into a team like this. And that is a convincing fight win.
Was an effortless dismantling of SEN. That starts off with Shy. Couldn't tell if that was through the smoke or not in mid, if that was just some intuitive tapping with the Ghost. Regardless, brilliant first kill. What a shot.
Silky smooth, man.
And then I love how Mazzino is playing around the site here. Who realized, wait, they're trying to take Snowman control? Let's just go fight them. And they swarm them, all angles, encircled, absolutely torn to shreds.
Yes, the Marshall buy, very standard for Kesnis.
And again, here's that high-cut wall, just cutting off both doorways.
Yeah, crucially, that debuff applied by it. Very standard spot here for Keznit, just looking to play above the walls. Contact, shot is good. He sticks around for a second one. Got to respect that level of audacity.
Not punished for the greed. Oh my God, Mazzino picking up the slack.
He wants more. I can't believe it, he wants more! That was the no-scope for your Kenning! Keznit, you have an MB2 for a reason, my friend. Okay, John B3. Okay. Yeah, strong start there for KRU, and they really are more than happy to stick around, repost on those angles. They're feeling themselves.
They lose the two worst weapons that they had in the round anyway, so realistically, who cares? Oh my God, I just saw right before we were getting into that, Keston was buying an op already on the bonus round? Huh?
Do they have dinner reservations, or?
They want to end things quick.
Or at least get off to a good start.
And the way that they're playing, they're making me believe that they might just end things even faster than literally anyone on the planet was expecting. Who are showing out today?
They're also going to be lit by that briefly. So now looking over towards this A side of the map, and this time it's Bang posted up mid.
I do like the setup for KRU. They have the off controlling over towards B, allowing the rest of the defenders to stack up elsewhere. And if the SEN hit does come into A, multiple players to contend with mollies all over the ground. It's going to be so frustrating to try and scale past as a team. Might end up in a situation where someone like Zekken gets isolated and killed.
And Bang happy just to get the turret over towards Boiler. Of course, there's a cheeky few lineups to cover that if you're on the attack side, but Bang just clears it. This will draw Shy out of formation. It doesn't like to be info-starved, nor do any of these KRU players. Our drone sees very little. And there is Zekken getting ready now to dash onto the side, into the cloudburst. He goes now, but getting hammered down by that Nano Swarm combination. Zekken able to avoid it. Had that regen shield, so I mean, somewhat durable now as the fight begins. Fragment and Snakebite thrown to the back of sight, but Mazzino unaffected by both. Zekken now has to fight. Gets the one, but Narrator's going to be good for the refrag. It's Mazzino without the required weaponry here, and Keznit, surely not. We just get out of here with the operator.
Time to save. He needs to go on the run. I mean, frankly, the setup for KRU was exactly how they drew it up. But I like that SEN were able to pause, take their time getting back into the site. Zekken didn't overcommit to any duels when we were looking at his point of view. Keznit is in some serious danger right now.
It's only Zelsis that is chasing him at this point, but there's still a bit of time left in the round, and Sentinels are swarming, circling like vultures. Keznit now will simply hide in the corner.
I mean, I don't know. Honestly, frankly, I'm looking at Keznit's money. How the hell did he get all of this cash? I mean, he's fine even if he dies.
Hey, look how close he is to Bladestorm. That should tell you everything you need to know. 6 kills, 3 rounds. He will, however, have to hand over the op.
But SEN have no desire to take it. It remains on the floor and into the next. He'll just buy another because that man is rich. So he's got the op. This time with the regen armor. Yeah, it was that pause from SEN after they got into the site and refight. Then Zekken takes the swing, and Narek gets a couple kills, who is a man that definitely needs to come online individually. Had a very slow start back on Lotus.
Someone who's probably a little bit more emotional than a lot of these members of Sentinels. Definitely we've seen him express frustration after weaker performances in the past, even after wins. He's hungry.
And this is definitely a time for him where he can't let the emotions get the best of him. He needs to step it up to steal away KRU's map pick.
Okay, pretty tentative here for Sentinels. Might just be another dash into Cloudburst, and Zekken has to be wary, of course, of the Nanoswarm set up here. They're going to be cleared or activated. That Shock Dart comes in.
You're essentially seeing the exact same setup from KRU with the op controlling B, everyone else stacked up towards A.
Yep.
This time they have much better weaponry to take these fights, however.
Pretty surgical here for Zek, and he wants to carve a way in, and they're trying not to deal with the op if they can help it, but they might pull out.
Yeah, the big difference, though, from SEN on this round is that Bang is exploring towards B, but he's caught out in the open.
They're going to go back to A. I just don't think there's any option for them now with the time left in the round. Zelsis gets pinged out here, though, so KRU know that there's a bounce back towards A.
The crossfires on defense are so good. This genuinely looks hopeless for SEN. They'd have to go insane on this execute individually.
They already cleared this corner. Mazzino's in. He reposted there now, and SEN don't have the util to get him out, and they're not going to check it second, though. Still wins the fight. That's absurd. Narrate also able to get them, and you just talked about that is devious work from you, mate.
4 players stacked up with the rifles. Perfect flash from John, by the way, to clear that player in Gen, who couldn't connect the first bullets onto Zekin. Mazzino, who you mentioned, he was reposted there, walked back in, had a crossfire from screens, and 2 players on catwalk.
Still died.
They can't find a kill? That is mental.
And that's what you need to see from SEN. They're really meticulous in these early to mid rounds, right? And they just surgically remove these aspects of KRU over the A side.
I can't express enough how much of a favorite KRU are to win out in that situation.
Kenton has to sit on this operator. Suffice to say, there won't be the funds to repurchase this in the next round. So the threat level, a little higher here for Kesnet. Maybe approaching DEFCON 2, if I'm honest. Gonna try and walk away now, and he will get to keep this up into the next round. But that was so stunning from SEN. Let's see it play out again.
That flash was beautiful from John. Perfect timing. Mazzino might have been able to get that kill. He was able to see Zekin, but then after being flashed, just did not know where to put the crosshair. The way that they scale both sides of the site together, sick side execute.
And you are seeing KRU, they are pushing up amongst that, right? They're pushing into SEN a little bit, realizing they lose Mazzino a little too cheaply there, and they get punished.
Placing swamp grenade.
What is the move from KRU on this eco round? An eco round that obviously involves the saved operator from Kesnet, who just loves posting up at the B site.
It feels like the most cost-efficient way to cover that part of the map is just to put Kesnet there solo. At what point, though, did KRU get a little antsy?
Yeah, we mentioned it on Lotus. Didn't come to fruition at all, but often on defense, that is their undoing. Their own willingness to try and force too much.
And on
try to do too much.
On this map in the past as well, we've often seen them like bounce on defense between sites a lot. They're going to force Kesnet off this line in theory with this owl drone. Yep, he respects it. Repost Sky because he's Kesnet. Now pinged. Surely we get off the line now. Yes. Zakin going to push him pretty quickly. Kesnet has to beat a hasty retreat. And he gets back behind the B site. Flash in for John. They've got to be thinking about snowman control, I'm sure of it. Cut off these op lines or just pull back entirely.
Yeah, they just have the superior weaponry to play back, swing for each other late. Matter of fact, if they need to, they even have the Hunter's Fury from their rate. So SEN are really set up for success here.
They've got this Mazzino util to work with, though. He can really carve up the map and allow KRU to get in behind it, but it doesn't matter. Zekin fires up for 2. Adverso sitting duck. 3-piece for Zekin. And no guns dropped by Sentinels.
Crucially, the gun drop in that round was Kesnet. Operator remaining in the snow as we get to round 6, was able to carry that over several in a row, with the economy for KRU booming early, but it has been shattered. Love the timings on these fights taken here from SEN, while the cascade drops. Swing from Zekin is perfect. Zelsis out from main. Fundamentals looking clean there to dispatch.
It feels like that was the go signal for Sentinels. When they see that Harbor util come out, they say, no, we are now going to try and take a fight here while they're midway through this.
Now we have to see how KRU are going to play this defense without the operator. We saw that they wanted to leave 1B favored towards A. Frankly, they're doing something similar right now, but they've adjusted Melser over towards that B side as the execute comes in.
Okay, it's going to be a fast hit for Sentinels coming in, but Zekin's going to fall early. Null Command, though, will pave the way, and Narrate's having to deal with the Verso. Mazzino back aside, taken down a little too cheaply, I think, for KRU's liking. And Kesnet here opts to take a little bit more of a passive angle, allowing for a plant.
Looked like Zelsis was doing some kind of Arsenal roleplay, getting that kill up top. Kesnet trying to swing back in on the left side.
Oh, man, it's so audacious, and who's covering him? That is strictly a solo effort. Melser is able to pick that line up eventually, but was in no position to play off of Kesnet. And frankly, that's just a 2-gun save.
I love how SEN positioned that double face to hold anyone swinging from Cat, where we saw Kesnet die, and 1 player stood on the box. on the default plant position. The other top by the rope. That was a really cool little setup. SEN are looking smooth on this attack side right now. This is very impressive, especially given there were question marks coming in. We heard that from Sean on the desk. Worried about the level that the SEN team would be at, given that Icebox was never a go-to for them in the past. But this is a new roster, a new era, and it's feeling like they've really put the work into this.
And it's a question of if we're needing a timeout here on the crew side of things soon. SEN are starting to...
That was crazy, man.
And yeah, look, I mean, it's just Kesnet trying to take a fight there at that point.
All right, guys, welcome to the server. I'm glad we woke up.
I need a cigarette.
No, you don't. Definitely don't suggest that. Look after yourselves out there, folks, and stay in school while you're at it. It's a timeout from crew. Bees are good. Whoa,
it's on your studies.
That's it. It's down the straight and narrow. Okay, so SEN here starting to run into a couple of rounds where they've got sort of round-defining ultimates. They've got lockdown on the horizon. Also, you know, getting towards that Viper's Pit here. But I'm looking at crew specifically because they've got the Hunter's Fury and, of course, that Harbor ultimate, which can be in a pinch really crucial to allow you to re-clear this space. And it was a timeout as expected. This is a good time to go for it. There's a quasi-buy here for crew. It's not the most convincing. But I'm sure Kesnet's going to have a Blade Storm and look to crack this one open.
I'm definitely, like you said, I'm looking towards that ultimate from the Harbor. It's so effective, especially when you're going in on a flood. If someone taps the spike, when that lightning bolt comes down, you know that's going to be a free stun as well that you can scale off of while the other players are having to reposition. I'm looking to see crew take advantage of that ultimate in a situation like that. Also want to see out of this timeout how SEN intend on adjusting. It has just been so easy for them to take this A site round after round. Are they going to open things differently, try and maybe play more passive or explore elsewhere on the map to see what plans crew have?
Okay, this time it's a little more passive towards that A side. No early exploration. Melsa's going to be allowed to push up here.
Yeah, worried about the potential for a Kesnet like dash updraft off of a deep recon, try and take a fight towards Belt.
So in the past, crew had this tendency on these save rounds to buy Sheriffs and push mid as 5. That was very typical for them. This time though, they've got some guns in the mix, so they're probably not reverting to that protocol. SEN are playing though as if they're ready for something of a push-up. There's nothing to see here either. This should get a drifter towards B, but okay, that's a shot under tube over towards kitchen side. That's that mid-anchor of Shy down.
And that false info from the drone could allow SEN to now scale up towards A, slowly take that space and work back into a full execute.
Time's certainly of the essence. 40 seconds to play with now, but that Harbor util's being drawn out on the B side, and Kesnet realizing he might have to rotate back to A here.
Yeah, this is the crew ants round. They are just running around that defense. They do not know where to position at the moment. But they've made the read, actually. They've gotten back to A right on time.
Okay, getting messy now. Mel's able to deal with second, but it's going to be a trade. Numbers favour SEN now in this 4 versus 3, and they're on the front part of the site, but Kesnet, surely he's not going to allow these. Interlope is in for free. Surely looking to excise a toll now, but it's awkward. He's got to swing out and get a trade at best, but it's Mazzino, vintage Mazzino. Able to use that ultimate now, give Bang the hot foot. He's stunned up, but he misses a golden opportunity. Bang healthier right now, has to keep moving here. Mazzino, oh my God, that is dirty business.
The movement there, just taking that extra step, and then the shot. Beautiful from Mazzino. An unexpected way to win that round, to say the least.
Shy looked almost reverent there, witnessing that from his teammate. Fair enough. Hello? 911. I'd like to report an absolute murder of 4 individuals hailing from SEN City.
Yeah, either that or he's trying to phone a friend to figure out how to win defensive rounds without clutching 1v4s. It's one or the other, man. Because you can't replicate that.
Well, they say the hardest battles for the toughest soldiers, don't they, Wyatt? See how this goes down.
Oh my God, that is gross. I feel like I need to take a shower after watching that. How the
yeah, it's all that seawater, you know?
I mean, the swings from SEN were perfect.
That is picante. Holy. Okay.
He is on one today.
Well,
you can't be losing when you have someone playing like that, man. you got to get back in the game.
Okay, Stan looks to open around here. Cascade thrown out. Zekin, though, wants to ask for more. Viper's Pit 1 away. Lockdown one away for Sentinels. Kesnet back on the old faithful operator.
Yep, and again, KRU are just going to stack up towards A due to him controlling B, but they're going to be pushed out of the site, at least temporarily, by this lockdown.
Verso offers, just holding back in his Hunter's Fury for the time being. So KRU are going to respect this, allow Sentinels to move on into A. Oh, wow. Okay, big ping there for Johnny. Sees so much.
And it just took down the Hunter's Fury. Kesnet, great opening.
And that's been disabled for the time being now. Viper's Pit here for Sen in the post plant. Kesnet does get his pound of flesh, but there's so much more to be done now. And to get through this pit could be a tough ask. And Verso sees nothing. No tags at all off of that Hunter's Fury. Time is ticking. Celsius crouched, biding his time, waiting inside the pit. Verso wants to try and light it now, but Zekin's dealt with Melsa easily enough. Celsius is waiting, ready to take the fight. And KRU down to 3 with an operator as well. This looks awkward. They're going to have to walk away. It's going to be a 2-gun save here. We're shy looking for something on the exit side, but there's nothing to be found. Clean look for Sen.
The KRU team had nothing to explore into that pit, no drones. Sen were stacked up in it. Cannot express enough how much value the 0 point from John got. Not only did it catch 4 players, sure, you get the info that they've been pushed all out by the lockdown in those common positions, but more importantly, it nullified the usage of the Hunter's Fury while they were planting the spike. That's the exact situation where traditionally you would have seen that defensive Sova rip the ult onto the spike planter while the rest of your team floods in. That play was canceled out by 1 utility piece. And then that pick gets max value.
And it's another round where Kesnet has this operator. He's drifted across from B and has nothing to do with it. These saves will make Owner proud.
The SEN team have been so strong on the A side. I'm really impressed by the way that they've been getting into the site.
Watch him just stay here even without Tailwind. Yep, gets his one. Mazzino watching his off angle here, and Kesnet is going to trend back. But of course, they've got that one-way orb to play off of as well. Clean opener.
Sentinel just waiting to play off of this pop flash with the recon as well, which gets some info towards back yellow on B, so they know that there are no KRU players entrenched in forward positions at the moment.
More stall here. High tide thrown up. This is going to slow Sen down. And currently, Celsius is rummaging through the pantry at A, but hasn't found a whole lot at all.
At the very least, so he's providing information for the rest of SEN that there's no one actually pressed up. He's given the rest of the team a good amount of space that they can just run up to, go into this site hit, where for the first time, they don't have to contend with 3 or 4 players. Not like it's mattered in the past. KRU are always stacked up here, but this is the first time they're really just going to get this thing for free and play a post plan.
Yeah, Celsius has given Sentinels a good staging ground by clearing a lot of the front part of this site.
I mean, unless KRU want to flood in, time is dwindling so low. 15 seconds. SEN haven't even tapped the spike yet, and all the KRU are stacked up.
Okay, oh, that's nasty. Narrate going to be caught by the shock dart. John going to try and get this plant down now. Scant seconds left in the round. It's him and Celsius against the world. Mazzino gets plugged. Celsius has to make it happen. V3 here, and he spots Kesnet on that off angle. It's a comfortable swing for Kesnet. KRU get back within 1 round.
I love how KRU played that, and I think perhaps this is a moment where a little light bulb goes off in their heads like, wait a second, we can just play this for the floods. We don't have to be trying to anchor this as crazy as we have been. That has not been working out for us. There they do it because it's textbook to play like that in the 5 versus 4, especially given that the time got horrifically low for SEN to try to plant. But I wouldn't be surprised if we start to see this KRU team take that approach now on A.
And who better to have flood into a site like this? This is KRU's bread and butter.
And you've got all that harbor util to cut off a lot of the post plan. Angles, very effective there.
Or to stall out at B because you're not all committing to A with Kesnet the only player at B.
Yeah, speaking of, they mixed up the setup and now he's taking his operator over to A, peering over towards Belt.
Not on top of Gen though, so Kesnet does respect the L drone to no. Okay, well, as I say that. Does head there.
The respect.
Had an idea and then I threw it out. All right, narrate. Okay, does see his opposite number there, and Verso is pinged. So now we're at the front of the side again. Sen knocking on the door. Shot for Kesnet goes a little wild. He had to get away from this now and allow for a plant. So again, KRU are looking for one of those signature floods. This time, the shock dart won't claim Narrate's life.
Another half as they try to flood in. Zekin is too sharp.
Oh, buddy. That is filthy. 3 for Zekin now on null command in play. Give him the rest. Just Kesnet left now, and Zekin will box it away. There is your iBuy Power Ace piece of each week. We're giving away a PC over at iBuyPower. Hashtag unlock your ace at iBuyPower on socials. Woo, buddy! What an energizer. Well and truly back in the server. Oh, look at this devious licks here, that three-piece.
No, and he said let me just do something a little extra with the dash into the ADS WhatsApp. Let me just give something to the crowd real quick, something light.
Just a little bit pick-me-up.
Right?
Twinkle toes.
Effortless, didn't even smile, didn't even grin, not even a little smirk, no adjustment. Just kind of stared at the cam, like after Lillard hit that three-pointer in the playoffs. Just looked right at the camera, stone-faced.
All right, we loosened up now, Sen City. Oh, okay. Far from done, just above the wall. Kesnet spotted, head goes rolling. Couldn't ask for a much better plant than that. Already taking the jet out of the game, and the guns are not good for KRU.
John is just ready to throw up this pop flash on the spike tap. Rest of the SEN players swing off it. No, never mind. Let's just go
just fight them?
So what if we just shoot at them?
They're going to blow up some steam at some point here. Here comes Zekin round the corner. It's Melzer. Gets lobotomized. However, the numbers are even after Reversa was able to deal with John here, but Bang will wait. Through the high tide he goes, and he connects beautifully. What a correction! Ooh, buddy. Clean as a whistle with the spray transfer.
What was Zelsis saying on the hot mic? Something about, oh, we're waking up. Something along those lines, right? They got their beauty sleep on Lotus. Looking like a bit of a different team here right now on Icebox attack.
They're woken up the crowd as well. Feels like the option has re-entered the room. Look at this, with that. Okay. And again, moments like that, they just look to try and fight. They say, okay, we have the advantage here. Just a dirty Blade Storm play for Zekin, and what a time for him to come alive after a bit of a lackluster first map.
Scanning ahead.
Recons exchanged over towards A. SEN have been essentially for free, getting all the space pushed up to where Zekin is at right now, where you're in prime position to just hit that execute. KRU really haven't tried to contend forward very much. Part of that being the fact that Kesnet is constantly opping. So over on A, they're just set up to anchor the sights heavy, and that has not found them any success.
They have never come past 410 on defense on this side. And yeah, constantly flooding to try and retake. And again, Zekin, who gets beautifully embedded under rafters at the back of A, it just seems like a dangerous proposition. Over towards B seems to be the look now. Zelsis going to take note, of course, on Nano Swarm that he skillfully circumvents. SEN can fall back now towards these positions, towards yellow.
KRU have significant ultimates for this retake, though. Looking for, yeah, there it is. Okay. Harbor have the lockdown as well, and Zelsis exposed.
Oh, that's dirty work. Okay, Mazina's able to find one under tube, and here come a full 5 of KRU. John has to keep moving here, of course, but the Harbor ultimate has now expired. Narrates, okay. Great recovery there, and okay. Big damage on the second. Pinged out, has to fold away. It's all up to John QT. Spray is good, but Shai was waiting for him. A lively first half, genuinely competitive stuff here. SEN get themselves a little ahead, stretch those legs, but good to see KRU in these post plants, these floods, have looked very solid.
Yeah, just biding the time with the big ultimates to come in for that B retake, doubling up on them. That was well done, but SEN, despite it being 7-5, honestly, I don't think the scoreline illustrates how much it feels like they've been in control of this half, running over the A site as they please. Really only a couple rounds here and there at B that didn't go their way, but when Kesnet found an early pick and then they had a man advantage flood towards A, but I gotta say, it feels like SEN are in control at the moment.
Yeah, unconvincing defensive odd play perhaps there from KRU, despite Kesnet looking very good this game. We're gonna go to a quick break, folks. When we come back, a 7-5 half with Sentinels in the lead in a must-win map in this series for them. Don't go too far. it's been a hot minute since we've seen Icebox at this level. And apparently, not a whole lot has changed. We're seeing the two dominant styles of the past here, the double initiator, the double controller comp, going head-to-head. Sentinels have Zekken drag them into a lead with a massive ace and then a beautiful follow-up in the next round with the Blade Storm. Get them 2 rounds ahead, and you touched on it before the break, right? It really has felt like Sentinels have had control of most of this game so far.
Definitely, but regardless of that, KRU have been able to just get their rounds here and there. Look at, if you look at the timeline of the game, they did not do anything they didn't string anything together. It was just, oh, we finally got one. And then they get another one a couple rounds later, and it's resulted in 5, Not too bad, but SEN have looked really fantastic on this map. After we had question marks about the level they'd be playing this, it wasn't their best in the past, but they're looking much better at the moment.
And this double controller util is going to let KRU just completely cut this side off and basically force flood retakes out of Sentinels unless they want to anchor and play aggressively in the site, which feels like a risky proposition against a team like KRU who hungers for those opportunities.
Well, and yeah, I mean, a hungry Kesnet is going forward to take that initial first duel, finds the kill, and now they're setting up 5 versus 4 on the site. KRU want to play crossfires.
Here comes Sentinels. Remember, this KO util, this flash is going to be huge. Get Sentinels into this side. Zekken opens things up beautifully, though. Melso waiting under rafters, but Zekken, he doesn't miss those. Kesnet a little bit low, and Bang likely to challenge him as his wall drops. How quick can you be on the uptake? Kesnet finds his one. Frenzy goes to work on Zekken, though. It's up to Narrate versus Kesnet. Narrate needs a moment, needs a little bit of a confidence boost, but Kesnet slaps him down and walks out of the round with a cheeky 4.
Both duelists are really just turning up right now, Kesnet and Zekken both. But I love the KRU were able to press forward in the site while getting the spike down. Kesnet finds this kill, all right, bet. And then they go back after that. Just set up the crossfires in sight together. Play to the fact that you have that man advantage 5 versus 4, and mathematically, you can just trade that down and win from there. That's literally exactly what they do. They're down to 1 player. The math checks out.
And look, Kesnet's chasing those frags on the site, just like his beard hunting his headline.
You can't be doing that to him. You can't be doing that to him.
I have big forehead privilege, I'll have you know. I get it. So SEN here, this time more embedded on A. Like less likely to try and give it up here, right? Because they're worried about like all this controller util just forcing them off the side entirely.
Bang looks a little silly there, but I think a pop flash came up from John Cutie that he was, had his back facing where it was landing and goes down in silly fashion.
Hey, investment in the Marshal this round for Sentinels is just a little anemic, of course. They lack the weaponry to make much of this round. Kesnet and Shy armored up and also with rifles to work with. Zelsis with his favorite weapon.
They have opted for a pretty big investment here, which is, juxtaposed to the same situation on Lotus where they just had a couple weak pistols. Zekken is happy to do damage, especially given what I was just saying. They invested heavy into this KRU.
They should be able to walk away with this, though, with those 2 rifles in tow comfortably. Sentinels will look to challenge, but Melsa will be left behind. There was Zelsis now and Zekken, just hoping they can dig someone out of position. It's unlikely, and of course at this point, the odds of taking anything out of the round are 0 to none. And KRU, with that pistol win, have even up the game.
Are they going to try to full commit to a buy here around the rifles that they've got, or just play with those 3 and then have 2 weak weapons so they can ensure a full in the next duel? Again, to see what they opt to do. They want to play it riskier or a little bit safer.
1 enemy remaining.
I do think like these 2 teams probably look to play very differently to one another on defense, just because of double initiator and double controller comps.
It feels like every time we watch this KRU team at the moment, it's like they have one side of each map where they look, I don't know about that.
A little sussy?
Yeah. Suspect. And then the next half, they look like the most perfect Valorant team that you've ever seen, which is exactly what happened on Lotus. And now I'm looking to see if that's going to be the case here on Icebox.
See, Sam, this group up here, they just do not want to be caught off the side. Recon, though. Spotting John out, he sees 4, so pretty clear to Sentinels what the intent is for KRU here.
I suggest you move!
Okay, here's that reckoning. Now the defenders have to get moving. There's a bit of a gap here that Bang can occupy. KRU are going to try and hit this hard now through all of this controller util. Kesnet over the top, caught by Bang, though. He's out of range of that Harbor ultimate. He's able to find himself a couple. Zekken follows up nicely, finds the 1-for-1. It's Shy and Mizzino now. Well, a bit of heavy lifting to do. With Narrate falling, though, they've at least been able to even the odds in that cove. John has to swing. Why did it take the fight? Audaciously, Mazzino goes for it, falls. It's up to Shy. Canny, so cunning. Has the post plant as the KJ duel will decide the round. Nasty work. Ain't nothing like a Shy guy. KRU, get ahead.
Shy in the late rounds, man. He is just too good. He's too consistent in those situations. We have seen this countless times over his career. And that has put SEN on the back foot.
It's deflating, right? That's that gun round, of course, that SEN are looking for. And Second doesn't have the ability to build into like an operator early here, right? He's got a rifle with the rest of them. Only gets like a 1-for-1 playing from rafters. That was such an important round in the context of this game.
Looks like KRU just want to keep it simple, take that space towards A, where you can use that harbor utility, the cascade specifically, to just get forward into prime position where you can activate the execute. SEN, they want to echo this site.
Gainer raids, trigger discipline, works against him. Oh, that's a heartbreaker. Again, the weaponry's not there for them. KRU, though, now on the precipice of going up 2 rounds. Second's just got nothing to see. Now you're dealing with this really oppressive controller util in a post plant. Impossible really for SEN to fight through it, but they've got nothing to lose virtually in this round. Except the Blade Storm that Zekken did commit.
Yeah, at this point though, it's like, I mean, damage be damned. It doesn't even matter. KRU have tons of cash behind them. Zekken is looking to be an actual miracle worker in this moment. That's one lethal first click onto Shy.
Not much to see here though. Again, another high tide going to be thrown down. All of KRU just huddled on the other side of it. Zekken says, right, well, there's a weapon to be gained here, and I will walk away at least with a consolation. Great opener there from KRU, though. You see when they walk into this anti-eco, they're confident enough just to hit the site. Very airtight protocols with that controller util. They waltz on in and take what's theirs. Indeed.
Much like the beginning of Lotus, feels like SEN are doing so much right. KRU are making some silly mistakes, throwing situations away, and then suddenly they just capture that lightning in a bottle, and they're right back in the lead, strung 4 together in a row, the most rounds they've strung together in a row on this map. They've been hanging on by a thread throughout that first half, constantly on the verge of being ecoed, somehow getting to 5. And now they're getting in position to win this game. I really can't believe it.
This time Sentinels, though, with the luxury of actually having timeouts available in the second half of a map. So now, Cap unable to address the team. I do think that there's definitely an inflection point in this round. SEN have a gun round at their fingertips, and they're a little far away from, you know, that sort of null command. And there's key ultimates that can really disrupt. So this is definitely going to be a round they have to win off the back of great fundamentals. Whereas for KRU, you've got to be a little wary, of course, of that lockdown looming to clear that A side if they want to hit it hard. I mean, God, get in there with a lockdown, then set that controller util up post-plant. SEN having to flood into that feels oppressive.
And on this map, compared to Lotus, I'll tell you, Kaplan is relieved that he has some timeouts late in the game. Yeah. That was their undoing. He needed to use both of them to stay in it earlier on, find some advantages for the team when we were on Lotus. But here has them during crunch time. He's been so influential on the success of this roster over the last year into 2025 as well. That is a crazy stat. Zekken, 5 for 5 on SEN's first bloods.
That's on the attack side, where they're not like using a solo WAP, you know what I mean? Like sometimes it's maybe more explainable if they were defending, but Zekken's in there with a rifle. It's huge for their first half. Where is he though in the second half?
KRU have just gone back to what is working, this early A-side default, using the cascade to go forward. Zekken,
I like this though.
You're getting damaged up by that nano swarm, but
regen shield did work, flashing him over pipe here. Zekken almost fully committed. Tucks in this corner now. KRU don't have the timing to shake him out. Here's that lockdown though. A little early shenanigans. And that lockdown will persist by the looks of things.
SEN have been forced out. The question is if they just want to flood back in right now on the spike tap.
Yeah, maybe go quickly, right? But there's a high tide already in play. SEN respect this. Are they going to try and wrap around the backside, though, with this Killjoy? It doesn't look like Zelsis is looking for a flank.
And that is one of the difficulties of playing against this harbor. you can't flood in when all those walls are up.
Kesnet might get cleared from that position by the fragment. Well placed there by John, but Mel's is still in Crow's Nest. Litho on the side. He's the only player there. Crew actually pull off the side itself and play from behind this toxic screen. And there's Kesnet, a double spray down. That's not what you want to see if you're a SEN fan. And Mazzino sneaks away. Now SEN have to show a little bit of leg, have to wager something to get this defuse. And it's going to be a 2v1. A must-win round for Sentinels after that timeout. And John's got nothing to do. He has to saunter away, tail between his legs. And that's Crew extending their lead to 3.
Yeah, and the left-hand side, they're back at it again, giving you one questionable half into one God mode half. They looked fantastic now on the A side, which was the story for SEN when they were on attack. The difference being how they play with the Harbor. That being the difference in their comps here. You know, I mentioned it during that round, but the way that it just bogs down any flood attempt while you're actually on the spike, you're forced to push through those additional walls, and the time that it buys then allows Crew to set up these post-plant positions. Great spray down from Kesnet.
Operated this round for Zekin. So finally, we're seeing SEN go in this direction, and he wants to play up with it. Look how close he is. Is this going to pay off? Kesnet's going to see, oh, buddy! Zekin was on the line, and he's able to walk away from this to boot.
He is determined to just will SEN to a win on this map.
With that said, Crew don't have a lot of map control elsewhere, and they've really never tested B on this attack side. I don't know if that's going to start now, honestly. Got to clear that turret, of course.
They've slowed things down over towards A. They've cut that noise. They just want to go for a re-hit later on. Again, Narrate is positioned over towards 410, which Crew have not seemed the best at clearing out. He's had opportunities for kills there before. You know, and now has multiple players to swing with him.
Okay, Cascade towards that Gen side. This all Adams has slipped through in this direction. Narrate knows he's going to get busy, but there's also John here to cover the line. Where was John? Oh no! Forced off of it. Now, we're even numbers. Crew have been allowed to make some serious progress onto the side, but Bang could still be an issue. A thorn in the side. John redeems himself there, and some. Leaving it up to Mazzino and Melsa, the latter with 3 already, with only 6 points of health. He has to know there's a player up on Rafty here. A strong wind would blow him over at this point. And 15 seconds left in the round. He, of course, carries the spike, gets that poison on up and gives it a tickle. The second, or John floats in, and there's the shorty going to work. SEN get a crucial round back, and not a moment too soon, but the money's still ugly.
Ugly, but a round that was more than desperately needed. They would have been reduced to nothing. Crew on the absolute verge of taking this map, taking the series.
What a risk to take, right? In a round that could sort of lose you the game if it goes wrong. Zekin just...
That's the kind of play you make when you know you're him and you need to win the game for your team.
That's crazy.
You are just way too locked in.
It's like the stakes are higher and you're taking more risks.
Absolutely. I mean, that is the kind of player that he is. He is fearless and he is consistent.
Push up, going to be spotted here and there. Of course, is that Nana Swarm.
I do love this adjustment out of the timeout from Kaplan, where he's got the team playing more proactively towards A, fighting forward, disrupting Crew before they can set up to go for the executes, find timings to get kills while they're in the setup stage. They tried to do that prior. I really like the adjustment, and it's paid off so far.
What would the reaction be here for Bang? Does he think about making use of this Viper's Pit if he gets enough of reason to? Well, take for Reverso, getting very close to a Hunter's Fury. Okay, just a probe at B. No commitment yet, as Crew still have Kesnet set up over towards pipes here. But Zekin is locked in, looking towards Belt. The operator at A here. And again, no Owl Drone to force him off the line yet. Reverso having used that a little bit early, but you two should come back around.
SEN are just hoping right now that on this hit, Zekin can find his and then set up for the 5 versus 4. Retake doesn't have an opportunity. Too much to obscure his vision. Wow, early Hunter's Fury, and it connects up to Melser.
That's big. Give that player advantage. Narrate ready for a little bit more here. Getting those tags in. Reverso goes quite low, but John gets knocked inside that null command. Kesnet is him! Hits the back of the site. Time of plenty here to go for a plant, but Zelsis might have been looking to line up some util. It doesn't matter. Narrate finds yet another one, though. That is big, and it's up to Mazzino. Might be... Oh, my goodness! That ain't right! The ripple clutch out of nowhere. Mazzino produces the golden rabbit from the hat. That is sickening.
On this map, it's just felt like there's Mazzino, Zekin, and everybody else. Kesnit's had his moments, but these two players have been lights out for their respective sides. Mazzino today has been different. This is easily his best series of 2025 so far. It is not even close. He has come up with two mad clutches. I really liked the aggression that both teams were playing with there, that like furious fight from KRU backside. After they had lost a player to the Hunter's Fury, they said, no, we're still playing this forward. We're going to fight together. And they were bringing things back until SEN came in with some excellent trades of their own.
I mean, Hunter's Fury gets a kill for Narrate straight away. John comes into the site with null command active, downed instantly. And they have a 3v1. And Mazzino just dismantles it systematically. That is going to take the wind out of your sails. And I don't know if Zekin has another ace up his sleeve he can just produce on a dime here.
Mazzino has kept KRU in this game. And not just kept them in the game, he's gotten them into the damn lead. He had that clutch in the first half where KRU were not looking very good. And now the second that SEN seemed to be coming back out of a prior Kaplan timeout, adjusting their play, he just shuts them right back down, puts them now on the precipice of getting ecoed. This is a round worth 2 for KRU. This one round here could result in them beating SEN for the first time since Champs 2021. They haven't even beat SEN on a map since then.
And they've got so many ultimates here to work with. The Hunter's Fury's up for reverso here. Post plant, of course, with that Viper's Pit could be the death sentence for Sentinels. 3 spotted out, though, by John. A lot of info about this early probe from KRU towards B.
I cannot use that.
Who have prior shown essentially no desire to go towards this B site, but now can use that cascade to get some presence in main and then use that drone to explore even further.
Zekin's going to fight for this. There's the tail with active. Does he know who's above him? It doesn't matter. He's going to be able to get out with it. The Blade Storm does connect. Ends up being a 2-for-1. KRU here, really want to push the issue. They're not sure, though, about committing the spike. It's Mazzino being a little bit careful about this.
The problem is now
the poison
walls. The walls are going to drop. And so KRU are vulnerable to multiple sightlines. Cascade will obscure any view from Snowman, but no SEN players are even there. Now the cloud is up. Some safety for Mazzino. Narrate swinging from the top.
Oh, buddy. That's rough for Zelsis, but he only had a stinger to work with. Reckoning now in play. Kesnit suppressed briefly, but finds yet another one. That evens the odds here. Shy's a little bit low, but Mazzino can play off this. Cove active. Verso went down with Hunter's Fury. Bang trying to get active here, but of course they need to get through this high tide. Swing it together, see what they can find. Nothing to be spotted, and now the Viper's Pit comes down. Bang takes a little bit of damage through the wall, but Sentinel's going to make use of this. They get ahead, get clear the turret that Shy tried to place to spot them out early. Shy's going to go for it. 4-1, not a big difference anyway. And now Bang tries to get the defuse. Mazzino with the spray, gets it to half. Mazzino got to step up, and he completes the contract. KRU head to match point. And that's the round that was worth 2. How does SEN come back from this?
3 for 3 on clutches. Mazzino is just on a totally different level today. He is actually him, but Kesnit, credit has to be given. What on earth was that first knife? And then even at that later, he was in a position where there were 3 players who could have potentially shot onto him, and he somehow finds another. 1 for 2. Gives his other players a fighting chance.
SEN have cobbled together everything they can. This is the team that win a singular map in Bangkok, and they come back to NA, and they look like they took their anger out on 100 Thieves. Looked like they were poised to become a top team in NA again, but this, a KRU-sized roadblock has caused them to stumble. And they're on the brink of getting swept in this series.
Unfortunately, after that strong week 1 showing, they've ran into this KRU team who we know at any given moment have a litany of players that can take over the server. Back in Kickoff, it was Shy, it was Melser, Kesnit had a couple games. Today, it has been Mazzino number 1, Kesnit number 2. Both of them have been exceptional. SEN have not been able to stop them despite Zekin's best efforts. It's going to require heroics on a bad buy from them in what looks to be a full B retake against a pit at that.
And KRU can fall back to the edges of this pit, back towards yellow with his long sight lines. If Kesnet gets a 1-for-1 here, he's happy.
And with a long sightline, they have a Hunter's Fury to play with as well.
Kesnet has heard this. He knows that Narrate just dropped there. Hunter's Fury coming down from Reverso now. Melsa deals with Zelsis. Kesnet, he's going to get through mid because Narrate has vacated the zone of activity for the turrets. And there goes Bang. The pick comes down and Mazzino drops him. It's all about Mazzino today, folks. Make no mistake. KRU deal a mortal blow to SEN City. Looking to ascend again to greatness. This team has been cooking. And they bring us an old classic on Icebox to send Sentinels to the Shadow Realm.
Back on Lotus, they adjusted to the meta. Kesnet picking up to this Yoru like he's been playing it every day for years. He looks like a damn one-trick when he's on the agent. He is sick on that roll. That comes over the Icebox, tried and true Jet. So many first bloods for him. 8, matter of fact. He had 8 first bloods. And then Mazzino was there to close everything out. He has the clutch DNA today. What a player.
And I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I'm getting deja vu to stage 1 last year where KRU goes and wins 5 games in a row, becomes one of the top teams in Americas. This is a great start. I mean, what a notch in your belt to take Sentinels down for your 2nd win. This team, again, they're not innovators. They're not necessarily coming out with anything new and spicy and niche, but tell you what, they take what has worked, what they know to work, they refine it, they make it theirs. They've incorporated the Yoru, they've incorporated the Taeho, but in this series, it was back to brass tacks on Icebox, and they absolutely flattened Sentinels.
Now talk about question marks now for SEN. At Bangkok, having a pretty disastrous showing. I know the fans really wanted more from that squad. They come back, they look rejuvenated against 100 Thieves. Like you said, it looked like they took their anger out on them. They crushed them on the last map of that series, Split. Head into this, feeling on top of the world. We heard Zelsis say on one of the hot mics that, oh, finally, we're waking up on Icebox. But little did they know, they were about to go to the side swap where KRU decided to go God mode halfway through the game, which always just seems to be the case in 2025. They had such a swingy series against Loud last week, which gave us question marks for them this week. I mean, it's just completely flipped on its head. I don't know what to think about SEN as we go forward.
You have to ask that question because this is a SEN that has Zekken firing. He is performing. He delivers some of the most ridiculous moments in this game, finds an ace. Next round, he has a fantastic opener.
Oh, yeah, he was giving us the montage clips.
So what else is it?
Ace perfect montage clip.
And what is the identity of the Sentinels team? We're still asking that question, right? You know, Zelsis has probably, up until today, I felt like at the peak of his career, someone who could be truly relied on by this team. Still question marks over Narrate. Where does he fit in? The role swaps that Sentinels also have had now. Soul searching coming back from Bangkok. This is going to complicate things even further for them as they try and find their feet here in stage 1.
Yeah, I wonder if they feel now like they might have to kind of go back to the drawing board on their approach. Tough showing today, but can't be too mad at them. This was a KRU at their peak. We know the KRU can hit this level. It's always been about hitting this level consistently. Like when you talk about that 5-match win streak last year, they then went on a 6-match lose streak after that. We know they have it in them, but they have to do it every day.
Absolutely. Now, of course, we're going to head down to Riv at the stage for the Verizon post-match interview with Shy.
Thank you, gentlemen. I am joined by Shy as they take down Sentinels, shutting down the power in SEN City. Let's hear it for KRU one more time. Shy, you played fantastic. I want to get your thoughts on the reaction, though, of the Mazzino clutch. You were going crazy. What were you thinking during his clutch?
O sea, ese clutch de Mazzino fue algo que literalmente desde nuestra pop, que no es desde el observer, sino que literalmente estamos viendo lo que él está haciendo. Fue increíble el guate que le puso al, no sé, al que estaba al lado. Fue algo que por lo menos yo que asombrado, la verdad. Y esa ronda era muy importante porque veníamos voleando y veníamos perdiendo rondas. Y esa ronda siento que fue que no hizo volver también. Pero eso tuvo un impacto también en, como muy anímico y como para volver a la partida.
That clutch from Mazzino was insane. From our POV, we've never seen something like that, especially that kill that he got into the one that was next to him. It was insane, and also it was a big round for us because we needed to recover, and it was a boost in the mental to come back from that again.
And you yourself, you're clutching 1v1s. You're not missing out here. Why are you playing so well lately? What's it about?
Porque estás jugando también últimamente.
La verdad es que todo lo que llevo en mi rutina siento que hace que sea mejor jugador. Últimamente me estoy despertando de como a las 8 de la mañana y estoy jugando toda la mañana, toda la tarde y toda la noche, y eso está haciendo que tenga un nivel consistente. Y también en ese clutch que tuve también fue algo mental, porque hace mucho tiempo me acuerdo que Celsius dijo que era como su némesis, así que igual como si uno va preparado diciendo que eso, obviamente va a perder clutch.
My routine is the biggest part of it. Recently, I've been waking up at 8 a.m. and playing in the morning, in the afternoon, at night, all the time. And also that clutch that I got was something a little bit on the mental side, because Celsius once says that I was his nemesis, so I wanted to win that one.
All right, I got a final question for you. You guys are looking like the strongest in Alpha right now. You've taken down Loud in the revenge match. You've taken down Sentinels. How are you feeling about the other competition and how strong you are right now?
La verdad es que nos sentimos demasiado bien. Este era un partido que realmente era uno, bajo mi punto de vista, de los más importantes que tenemos en el grupo, porque Sentinel era un equipo bastante fuerte, según yo. Top 1, top 2 del equipo más fuerte en el grupo, y siento que el equipo se ve con una cara diferente y sobre todo, como ya lo he dicho anteriormente, venimos de una preparación demasiado bien. Ahora sí hemos tenido el tiempo de prepararnos con Adverso ahora, hemos tenido 1 mes y medio y la verdad es que siempre lo he dicho, este es el equipo de LATAM, así que sigan confiando.
We're feeling really good right now, especially because of this match. This is a match that we knew was the most important one to win, because Sentinels is top 1, top 2 of this group, so we wanted to beat it. And also, we've had some really good preparation. We had about a month and a half now with Adverso, and as I've always said, this is the LATAM team, so keep believing.
All right, well, Shai, thank you so much for the interview. Congratulations on the win. Jaya, thank you for translating. Don't go anywhere. We've still got more of the day to go. We got to talk to Mazzino and Adam over on Match Point, so let's get to it.
Yeah, Riv, let's get to it. We're going to be kicking off Match Point here by playing a fun little game called Stick It. The rules are pretty simple. I'm going to plant the spike for each of you, and your goal is to try and defuse it as close to 0 seconds remaining before it explodes as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and put the spike down, and Adam, we're going to let you play too. How much Valorant do you actually play? I assume you watch a lot, but...
Wait, you plan to B?
Yeah, I'm on B. Get over here. You got 40 seconds. You got time.
Yeah, it's okay.
I play like 2 ranks by month.
Okay.
That's a lie.
That's a
lie.
I don't play ranks, just team deathmatch sometimes.
Okay, so not a lot of spike planting. So if you be Mazzino, it's a little embarrassing, no?
I would prefer to shoot with
I'm
him.
really bad to this. I'm gonna be honest. I'm really bad on this.
Okay. Well, I mean, you were shooting like crazy in that game. Like, I don't know. For my money, you're the best harbor we got. So.
Ya entregaste, hijito.
Oh, that's close.
I
don't know.
No.
You distracted me. You distracted me.
So all you have to do is defuse it. Really, it's a little simpler for you.
Nah, you have to go to the limit.
I'm just fighting you.
I love Mazzino. You deal with Sentinels like it's nothing, but defusing the spike is just a little bit more challenging.
Yeah, it's harder.
He is not prepared for that yet.
I did that on the game. On the game, I was alone with the spike, and I defused like 10 seconds, and the team told me that to wait to the limit, and I couldn't just.
Oh, so that's the leaderboard?
Yeah, that's the leaderboard. You're tied with some of the greats like Boostio and Icebox.
I'm on the 3rd though.
Yeah. Oh, you want to go above them?
Berno got an insane one.
Adverso 4 seconds.
No, that was pretty bad.
That's pretty bad.
That was pretty bad.
Wait, why did Mazzino get up there? The spike exploded. Hold on.
No, because I already went here one time.
Oh, okay.
So I was cheating now.
So wait, this is your second time and you did worse. How is that possible?
You have to go more to the limit, you know?
Okay. I respect trying to going for first place. That's not bad.
He's cheating.
Okay. Are you using both hands?
Go to the limit. Go defuse.
Wait, don't knife me. Come on now. You know, Icebox couldn't shoot me the other day when we were playing this.
Wait, you troll.
Hey.
You troll.
No.
Oh, it's perfect.
No, it's off. 0.2 seconds off. 0.7. No, what's going on,
but
guys?
I did better than him.
We're really good at distracting ourselves.
Right, yeah. You used all your energy out on the match. Yeah. I respect that, so we're gonna let you get away from here now. You know, take your losses and the wins.
I feel like you guys were just sabotaging each other. Come on over here. Let's chat.
Crazy.
Let's talk about it.
Let's talk
about something that isn't that. Yeah, honestly though, you guys should have seen what Enders did just last week. Icebox tried to shoot him, and Enders' movement was insane. Like he avoided it, and Icebox died. It was a whole thing. It was wow. Speaking of wow, Masino, talk about it.
It was something.
Let's talk about it. Okay, so you closing it out on Harbor with a 4K on Icebox. Seeing Icebox back into the mix, very, very
stylish.
Like a gazelle, essentially.
Please ask your question.
Sorry, sidetrack. Okay. Yeah, Icebox back. You back on Harbor. Were you excited seeing Icebox back, knowing that you can pull that Harbor out again?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because now the meta is like, no way Harbor goes in, you know. So getting Icebox back, getting the chance to play Harbor is nice. So I like it.
Were you worried as a coach, knowing going back to those old comms that everyone knows what to expect and how to also counter those kind of comms?
Yeah, I think that we are a team that tries to explode our strengths, and we spoke that there are really few Harbor players at this level, for example. And if you have a strong Harbor, you should play Harbor because Harbor is a pretty good agent. The thing is to have the user, and we have the user, and we prove it today.
Would you extend that philosophy to other agents? Like there's agents that aren't getting played a ton in pro, so you're not having scrims against them, practicing against them. Is it valuable to take those types of agents to maybe confuse the other team?
Yeah, I believe that there is a thin line between the meta and what are your strengths. So we try to play that line. Also with the duelist, for example, we are more inclined to play the duelist that we feel strong with. So, for example, Kenny started playing Yoru, and he was playing strongly with it. So we decided, hey, let's play more Yoru, and kind of that is the idea with Waylay, for example. So it's a process, and it's playing between the meta and your strengths.
So you never know when you're gonna see a Waylay.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for it.
Yeah, we kind of hoped to see it today, but it was not the case. General thoughts on that new agent? How would that fit into your playstyle?
I think it kind of fits because it's a really explosive agent. You can do a lot of crazy things, so we will see.
He's so mysterious.
I'm waiting he's just gotta have this up his sleeve or
probably.
I don't know.
Well, listen, there's still some weeks of play to come. Speaking of which, looking at your schedule, I think 2G is coming up next. EG is in the mix. 100 Thieves, I believe, is your last matchup. Yeah. How are we feeling about those teams? How do you feel you stack up against them? Perfect. Next question.
I think that today's win was a huge thing for us, and I believe that would be a motivation for us to keep going on the next matches. We have hard matches up against, but I think that the team is going in the right path, and I'm sure that we are going to play good with those three teams.
Certainly looks like it. I do want to ask, who's the friend we've got here? What's their name, and what's the backstory, if you want to share?
It actually doesn't have a name. But,
what?
It's from my girlfriend.
Okay.
That is on Chile, so I bring it with me to everywhere. And yeah, it doesn't have a name. She just found it and told me that.
You should name it right now.
Name it right now.
Name it right now.
Nah, she's gonna
punch
me.
Manuel.
I need to talk with her.
Manuel. I think perfect. No notes. Okay, Manuel's here, Crew's here with us as well. Let's take a look at the schedule and the standings. You are at the top now. What were your general thoughts on the group? Do you feel like this is a very closely matched group? Is it anyone's game, or do you feel like it was very clear who's going to come out on top, which is obviously you guys?
Yeah, generally I believe it's a hard group. There are a lot of strong teams, and I feel that we started playing against one of the hardest teams. I believe Loud was a hard game. Today was a hard game. Actually, I think every game is a hard game. But yeah, I would call it balanced. It's not that impossible group, but also it's not an easy group. So I believe it's balanced.
Yeah, at least there's no G2, until later down the road.
Yeah, we're gonna reach on the final against them.
Look, I want to watch that.
Right? That's how you do it. Right, before we let you go, I want some predictions for tomorrow's matches. Which teams do you see coming out on top here? 100 Thieves versus EG. Who do you got? Starting with you, Adam.
I'm not sure. I would say...
You haven't watched any of these teams. You were focused on today.
I would say EG, I believe. I trust in EG.
Okay. Trust in EG. How about you, Messina?
I would say 100 Thieves.
Okay.
Yeah, I think
Hunter
100
really
Thieves
like
wins.
it.
Yeah.
I just hope both teams have fun.
I just want everyone to have a great time. Well, you know what? Looking at everything the teams have shown us so far in week 1 and also just today, I'm sure we're in for some treats once more. Guys, thank you so much for joining us, and that does it for us here today. But before we leave you, we still have the Samsung SSD Fast Replay, so check it out. Is here looking to course correct in stage 1 with a new coach and a fresh face. And Furia, same thing, right? This team's still hunting for their first win of stage 1.
These teams both in big needs of wins today.
Paranoia is great. Havoc has been set apart and now dealt with. Finesse taking a step back from the fight, having to dodge a little bit more utility as Rafa hunts him down, nipping at his heels. A third on the round, finds a target, cannot connect, spotting with a second, and now destroyed. Rafa with 4, Furia as well. He's done everything that Energy have asked for and then some. Once again, his number has been called! And he delivers the rifle clutch for NRG! Are they going to be ready for this? I don't think NRG will be. The Fowler through, Havoc pops the ult, they're stunned up, they're trying to tuck tail and get away, but Havoc gets to make that 3! Disaster for NRG! Furia take Lotus. What an impressive win. Stun not connecting, Tom's gonna hold out onto the plant. As he invests the ult, he's left in 1v2 and 5 with 3 massive kills as NRG gets 7.
Now everybody else is able to play all the way back, use the weapons to their advantage.
Too nasty.
NRG respond beautifully with a 13-2 win on Pearl, and that's going to take us to Fracture Dre.
Very nicely timed, but he somehow drops.
Great response out from Finesse with the frenzy, but Finesse is in a good spot. Oh, crosshair down. Heat now dead, finds the last. Finesse gets 3, the pistol for NRG.
Another great start. Finesse getting 3 to the round.
Just look at the health bars on the remaining members of Furia.
It's very doable right now for NRG.
That's 1. And the other 2 are not much better off. They're so weak. Mata gets 3 to close it out. NRG stomp Fury on the last 2 maps to take the series 2-1.
KRU Visa taking to the stage, generally a competitive team in Kickoff, but the last time they won against Sentinels, it was Champs 2021. Since then, they have not won a singular map against Sen City. Bang is virtually vibrating with anticipation here. They come to hit with a Paranoia, it's devastating, and Bang is ready for Melsa to take that high ground.
Swatted down.
Fires it up, Shy avoids it, and there's Zelsis falling. He tries to take a swing, and Mazzino's looking dangerous. 17 health in a dream. He'll take 3, and even the game heading into the half. Sen fighting like they're programmed to do so, but Kesnet was born and molded by this scenario. KRU advantage, Narrator able to find 2. It's on the table now. Zelsis and John have to make it happen, but Shy shuts it down. What a statement to make. KRU grinning from ear to ear.
Another half as they try to flood in. Zekin is too sharp.
Oh, buddy. 3 for Zekin now at null command in play. Give him the rest. Just Kesnet left now, and Zekin will dodge it away. There is your iBuy-Power ace, folks. Zekin follows up nicely, finds the 1-for-1. It's Shy and Mazzino now. Well, a bit of heavy lifting to do. They've at least been able to even the odds in that cove. John has to swing wider to take the fight. Has the post plan as the KJ duel will decide the round. Nasty work. Another like a Shy guy. KRU get ahead. He's going to get through mid because the Raiders vacated the zone of activity for the turrets. And there goes Bang. The pit comes down and Mazzino drops him. It's all about Mazzino today, folks. Make no mistake. KRU deal a mortal blow to Sen City. Looking to ascend again the greatness. This team has been cooking. And they bring us an old classic on Icebox. Just sends Sentinels to the Shadow Realm.